What's going on, people? It's your boy Triple Rich, and I'm back to talk to my Kick Talk fam about another shoe this week. Today we're going to talk about a controversial, aggressive-looking shoe, none other than the Air Max Tune Plus. And some of y'all might know them just as TNs. So let's get into it, and let's go! The Air Max TN, aka the Air Max Plus. 1998, it was created by the designer Sean McDowell, and it has such a cool story that I'm excited to share with you. Sean McDowell took a vacation not too long before working on this project, and during this vacation he was in Florida and he just saw beautiful sunsets and palm trees. So he sketched out the gradient of the sky as well as the palm trees swaying. Now let's talk about the project he worked on. Foot Locker at the time with Nike was working on introducing an exclusive Air Max. This Air Max unit was going to be called Tuned Air, and it was going to be different from all the Air Max that we had known up to that date. The Air Max that we knew, the Air Max 1, 97, it was all about making the air bubble as big as possible. This new technology called the Air Max Tune was going to change one air bubble and turn it into two, so it would almost be like hemispheres of the brain. So that was that new technology he was working on, but the name of the project, like the top secret name, was Sky Air. So once he heard this name, he was like, oh my God, I just did these sketches on the sky and palm trees and stuff, and he brought it in. So let's talk about the design. First, the palm trees. The palm trees are represented here on the ribbing of the shoe. When Sean McDowell was drawing the shoe, he noticed that the palm trees were swaying in the wind, but they were so sturdy that they weren't going anywhere. So he said, how can I, replicate that on a shoe? Another big part of the shoe is, they call this the shank. It's what separates the midfoot from the bottom. And in this case, he modeled it after a whale tail. And we're going to get into this soon, but ironically in Paris, they call this the shark shoe, which you can kind of see. It kind of has like shark teeth. A really funny story is the story of the TN. Now, most of you who are into this shoe know how iconic this is, but when he designed the shoe, he fell in love with the design. He had pretty much all of this, and then Nike comes in and it says, hey, by the way, this tuned air thing has to come with this logo. It's really big. He kind of was reluctant, but he threw it on the heel and he threw one on the bottom. Now that most people call the shoe the TN, I think it's kind of ironic that it was the last detail that ended up on the shoe. When the shoe came out, talking about the colors, he wanted to create a story about the daytime, the nighttime, and the transitions between the two. This shoe is called the Sunrise. There was also a dusk pair, and I believe there was something like a nighttime pair. Now, as far as pop culture goes, to me, when you look at the shoe, it just screams late 90s. And I think that's why people still love them. But this shoe is also known to be like a pretty gangster, like a pretty low-life shady shoe. In America, the TN had a modest success. In Australia and in Paris, it's a different story. In England, London to be specific, they call them chavs. And essentially, that's the short name for goons. A lot of soccer fans, a lot of hoodlums. Also, if you're English, you know the term roadmen. A lot of these people wearing tracksuits, doing shady things, selling food. They love this shoe. Same thing goes for Australia, but I would say Australia took it to a different level. A lot of criminals, a lot of gang members are known to wear this shoe. And it became such a known shoe in the shadier circles that the TN specifically is banned in some pubs and some clubs. It goes in Paris. Paris, a lot of the graffiti, club goers, anything that was kind of late night underground, they were into the Air Max. I like to call them TNs. So in 2015, the shoe was hard to find. I thrifted some in Brooklyn, and I remember somebody in Australia bought the shoe off me for like $250 because it was after shipping there. And I was just like, dang, like they really must love this shoe, because I had an Australian friend who told me about the shoe, but money talks, you know? So that was one of my first experiences. Another great experience I had was my wife, right? So my second date with her, she wore an all black pair, and I was like, oh, this woman's trying to take the key to my heart. There are a lot of special things about the shoe, and honestly, I could go on and on, but these are the meat and potatoes that you need to know when you're wearing an important shoe like this. It's Triple Rich. You already know you gotta like it, you gotta love it, you gotta tell your friends about the video, and subscribe. But until then, let's talk about the shoe in the comments, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace.